It's a movie that right away from the first shot draws you into the universe that Guillermo has created. So I worked a lot on trying to find the right music for that moment. And if you listen carefully, it's all about water. The melody I wrote is made of waves. The instrumentation is made of 12 flutes, Fender piano, whistle. It's very watery. So, you know, when you write the score of a film, you try to capture its inner guts, and that's exactly what I did there. Well, we wanted that Eliza, played wonderfully by Sally Hawkins, would have a very intimate and still very light, very carefree feeling. And the accordion, the whistle, captured that, just made it seem natural. You know, the friendship also between Sally and Richard Jenkins, the neighbor, has something so gentle, so kind, that these instruments made, I don't know, that just made sense.
Of all the great storytellers you have had the privilege of working with, what is perhaps unique about Guillermo as a storyteller, as a director?
Well, his movies manage to put together monsters, stories, love stories, open the chests of his monsters and show their heart. And his direction is incredible. In this film, the camera never stops. It flows on and on and on. There's no steady shots. It's all in movement, in motion. So the music also follows that, this current that never stops. That's what I love about him, and his precision, the way the actors are directed is perfect. It's just, he's a master. He's very kind, he's very generous, passionate. So you just get, you know, he takes you with his arms, puts you on the ship, and up you sail. You know, it's very easy, or up you swim maybe. And also his work, what I see on screen just grabs you right away. It's so beautiful, so tender, strong, smart, delicate, violent when it has to be violent. It's just, everything is right. When a movie is that masterful, it's because everything is right, and it's the director, nobody else. So he deserves all the laurels.
Love and monsters are recurring themes in Guillermo's storytelling. What is perhaps unique about this version, this iteration of that story?
Well, I mean, his monsters generally have some pathos, but I think in this case, you know, they're not always the love interest. So there was that, and also, you know, the question is really, who is the monster? You know, is the fish the monster, or is Strickland the monster? I think some of that, you know, as Guillermo's worldview, you know, has evolved, and his humanity, you know, has evolved over, you know, the last several years. You know, he sees, you know, degrees of nuance in all of those things. So I think it's just a little more nuanced as he does every film.
I think at the heart of this story is really a beautiful triangle between Doug as our creature, and then the love from Sally and the hate from Michael. Can you talk a little bit about those three actors and the crucial importance of having them involved, particularly Doug, I guess, in the suit?
Well, again, you know, the fact that Sally and Doug, neither of them speak a word in the whole film, and so your romantic leads don't speak in the entire movie. It's quite a challenge. And, you know, Michael, with Michael's character, you know, he does bring pathos to essentially a pretty evil guy. Like, you know, he's got a story, and he's got, you know, something that he wants to do, and he's just a working guy who's trying to get to the bottom of things. So, you know, he gives it some heart. You know, he's not just a one-dimensional monster.
And of course, as fans, we love and adore Guillermo. As someone who has the privilege of working with him, can you articulate for you what is so unique about his vision as a storyteller?
Well, it's just that it's his. You know, he has a particular, you watch this movie, you watch any of Guillermo's movies, and you know it's a Guillermo movie. It's got his fingerprints all over it. And whether that's, you know, the monsters or the camera moves or the, you know, various color palettes or the rhythm or the takeaway, you know it's Guillermo. So that's it. It's just being able to be a part of something, you know, where the creator has such a unique and identifiable voice. You don't want to let him down. You want to execute the vision as beautifully as possible. And every day we had, it's a period movie, and there's lots of music and film clips, and I mean, there were a lot of challenges, but mostly it's just to execute the vision as best we can. There's a lot of rain in the movie, and I don't know if you know, but we shot at these sand piles where the wind blew up and got sand in all the cameras, like you're out in the Sahara Desert. So there were no shortage of location issues, but we actually did quite a bit of it in the studio, where he likes to have the control, lighting control, and the camera's moving a lot in this film. So again, he's very deliberate. There's nothing really arbitrary. So the fact that he can explain exactly what he wants at the beginning gives somebody like me the ability to, plan and, knowing what he wants instead of having to be ready for anything.
This is a film that first and foremost is about celebrating the love and beauty of otherness. Can you talk about why that's such a special and important message to be delivering in this year?
I mean, because there's a lot of otherness in the world, and nobody, love is love, and we love who we love. So stop with all this stuff. Just stop. We are who we are. We look like what we look like. We believe what we believe. It's about the forgotten people, the people who, especially in 1962 when the movie takes place. It was very, it was just, I don't know, I grew up, I was in high school in 1962, and my life was great because I was a white man. But if you weren't, life was not so great.
Talk about working with both Sally and Doug, because obviously their lack of dialogue complicates communication, but it's amazing how much depth and nuance there is, particularly in those scenes between you and Sally.
Well, she's pretty easy. She's pretty deep. And she's an extraordinary actress. It's not hard to do scenes with Sally Hawkins. It's joyful. Yeah, she's incredible. I did have to talk for her, and I didn't get any more money for that. She didn't say my lines, I had to say hers. I mean, come on.
You've got a genius, you use him twice. My final question, you've worked with so many fantastic storytellers. What is unique about Guillermo, though?
Nothing is wasted. Nothing is wasted in his story. Everything has a reason for being there.
The Beauty and the Beast fable is one of our oldest and most precious. I'm curious, though, what is so important for you about the message of the Beast getting the girl instead of the alternative?
First of all, the idea is that the beauty is not a perfect Disney princess. She is a character that is complex. She's sexual, she's active, she works, she has a good life, she's not unhappy with her life, and the Beast is not going to turn into a prince at the end, which I find horrible, and tendentious. And I think the beauty of it is not so much the creature, it's about the creature being the other. We live in a time where everything we hear is that you should be afraid of the other, that the other is evil, that the other you should stick to the normal. And I think the beauty of love is that, like water, it has no shape, but it's the most powerful element in the world, and it breaks through rock and steel, and it's powerful because it's malleable and gentle, and that's what the movie's about,
In terms of the creature design, there's so many beautiful elements, obviously the Black Lagoon and a bit of Abe Sapien in there. Can you talk about crafting this specific creature, because it's one of your most beautiful?
Well, precisely because we avoided Abe Sapien. I did it twice, and I didn't want to do it a third time. And it's a completely original thing. If you put Abe Sapien in this movie, the movie doesn't work. It's too primary color, too streamlined. This took 3 years because we were not creating a monster. We were creating a leading man. That's really, really a different exercise. It needed to look like a real animal. It needed to look like a god. It needed to look like a fierce creature, a gentle creature. So it took 3 years to sculpt and paint him, only because if you don't deliver that, the movie doesn't exist. Sally Hawkins, I've seen since the days of Happy Go Lucky, Fingersmith, Submarine. Obviously she is one of the most beautiful, powerful, luminous faces on screen, and yet she has this quality and humility and realness that allows you to believe she could be in a bus sitting next to you or in the tube, To me, the important thing is to talk about the other, not being an object of fear, but an object of love. And not even tolerance, it's curiosity and love and magnificence. I mean, the madness is uniformity, sanity is diversity. It's very simple, and I think, you know, when you talk about skepticism and cynicism, it's very easy to sound smart. But I wanted to talk and think smart, not sentimental, and talk about love. You know, that's the whole idea. And we talk about love because it is the greatest force in the universe. Sorry to report to those that don't believe in it. It is the all-healing, all-encompassing force in the universe.
Our favorite monster is Hellboy. I know you said that if there wasn't going to be a third film, you would tell fans what would have been in that third film. On the Golden Army commentary track, you promised us this. I wondered in a very selfish way if you could tell us what would have been in store for Hellboy.
It would take about half an hour, but I'll tell you how it starts. Liz has been pregnant for 8 years. So, you know, she has been getting morning sickness for 8 years, so she's not happy. I can tell you that, because no one knows the date of delivery for a demon baby, much less twins. So that's a good beginning.
Thank you so much, Guillermo.